Good morning, Year 5. Happy Monday. It's the 1st of June, so pinch and a punch for the first month and no returns. Miss Ayton, Mrs. Perry and I hope you all had a really fantastic half term, made the most of the weather, managed to do some social distance outside stuff as well. And we're looking forward now to our final half term of Year 5. So only 7 weeks to go, and then it will be the summer holidays. And you will be heading into your final year at primary school. So this week then, I'm going to talk you through the overview of learning for this week, also give you a quick maths lesson as well. We're going to start with the maths lesson and then talk you through what is needed. So remember, we are setting on My Maths for you fractions work because again, like we last time, we're not confident that you are secure on adding and subtracting fractions, so we're going to revisit this week. Please remember that 1/5 add 1/5 does not equal 2 tenths. Remember, once those denominators, the bottom numbers, are the same, you don't add or subtract them, whatever the operation is. So it would become 2/5 as your final answer, because one apple, okay, if we add another apple, like column addition here, we would say is 2 apples. We wouldn't put the 2 apples on the end. We wouldn't say it's 2 apples, okay? So 1/5 add 1/5 is just 2/5. Nice and straightforward. Now, then it comes to different denominators. Well, remember that we write out our times tables of the denominators and we find the lowest common multiple. Okay, so it's the times table that's in both lists. It's the lowest number. Okay, write out roughly 5 of each, and then if you need to extend them on because there is not a lowest common denominator in the first 5 of each, then that's fine. But clearly we can see here that the lowest common denominator is 10. So I need to write this with a denominator of 10, and obviously this one is already 10, so that's fine. So here's your equivalent fractions. Then we need to keep them the same. How do I get from 5 to 10? I times it by 2. What am I going to do to the top then? Also times it by 2, so that becomes 2 tenths. So we've then got 2 tenths, here's your 1/5, but we've written it in tenths to make the denominators the same. Add 1/10, well, that gets us to 3 tenths, or we know that that's 0.3 and 30%. 3 tenths is the answer we're after. Subtracting now. Biggest mistake I see on the arithmetic paper from year 6 is that children don't add or subtract properly. They use the wrong operation. So we've got an issue here because denominators are different, but that's fine. We can find the lowest common denominator by writing out our times tables. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Lowest common denominator is clearly 12. So I need to make this one a denominator of 12 and this one a denominator of 12. Now, it gets a bit messy if you write it like I've done it here, so I tend to write it over here. So we know this 3/4 we're going to write as 12. So how do we get from 4 to 12? Times by 3. So what do I need to times the 3 by? 3 again. Copycat the sign, minus, and then I'm going to write this 1/3 as 12ths. How do I get from 3 to 12? Times by 4. So I must times the 1 by 4 as well to get me 4/12. 9 12ths, take away 4/12, leaves me with 5/12 as my answer, and that cannot be simplified down. Now here we've got a mixed number and a normal fraction, a proper fraction, so I need to get rid of this mixed number. Well, that's fine. Remember, we times the denominator and the whole number together and then add the numerator on. So 1 times by 5 is 5, add 1 is 6. 5ths, add 3/7. Issue here is that we don't have a common denominator, so I can find that 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Oh, there isn't a common denominator there, so let's extend it. There it is. So I need to write this 6/5 with a denominator of 35. How do I get from 5 to 35? Well, I times it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Times both of those by 7. 7 times 6. 7 times 6 is 42. And then how do I get from 7 to 35? Times it by 5. So what am I going to do? Copy the sign. We know this is going to be 35. How do I get from 3, or what is 3 times by 5? Well, that is obviously 15. 42 add 15 is 57 out of 35. How many 35s go into 57? 1, and then 57. Take away my 35. What does that leave me with? Leaves me with 22 out of 35. Okay, so it's 1 and 22 35ths. Now, moving on then. And then a final one here to practice. Mixed number. Need to make it an improper fraction. Times, and then add. 2 times 2 is 4. Add 1 is 5 halves. Minus 1 quarter. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Write out your times tables because your denominators are different. And obviously 4 is the lowest common denominator, so that one can stay as it is. What do I do to get from 2 to 4? Times by 2. So 5 times by 2 is 10 over 2. Take away, that should be a 4. Take away 1 quarter, leaves me with 9 quarters. However, that's top heavy. How many 4s? Remember, to convert from an improper to mixed, we divide 9 by 4. How many 4s go into 9? 2. What's left? Well, 2 4s are 8. I've got 9, so that's 1 quarter left, which is 2.25. Okay. So that's a quick recap on mixed adding and subtracting fractions, including mixed numbers. Then some of you have got your place value here. So what's the place value of the 3 in all of these numbers? Well, remember, this is ones, that's tens, that's hundreds, that's thousands. So this 3 would be 3,000. And then the place value of the 6 here, well, that's ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. So it's 600,000 in this case. And then the value of the 3 here, well, this is ones. We've got a decimal point there, so that's tenths. So it is 3/10, which we know is the same as 0.3. And then the 6 here is in the hundredths place, so that's 6 hundredths, which we are pretty good at saying 0.06 now. Okay, so some of you have got those as well. Now, a number between 7.38 and 7.39. So here's 7.38, here's 7.39. Halfway between those would be 7.385. So anything between those would work. So you've got 7.381, 7.382, 7.383. This would be 7.389. Okay, so that's finding a number halfway between. Just quickly showing you, this is reading. You've got a PowerPoint, which you've got activities Monday following through. It's a classic children's novel, Journey to Joburg, following through different activities. You're used to doing this on the PowerPoint. Okay, writing. This week is actually more topic work. It's not so much writing. It's looking at a society that differs from British history. So we're going to look at Benin. Okay, and you've got a PowerPoint to follow through with writing like you usually do, but it's more of a history focus with topic rather than writing itself. You won't actually produce any writing this week other than following the PowerPoints. Okay, taking you through, and at the end of the week, you've got artifacts to predict what they could be for. Remember, there's no right or wrong. We did do this with the Anglo-Saxons. Okay, and then Thursday, ask your parents to read you some of that's on the slide there. Mrs. Aiton's made a prediction. You got some questions to answer there, so you can send us through the answers on Friday. And then on Friday, again, you've got some questions, and then you've got a task about producing or finding facts. So there's some research work about Benin, and you could design us a poster, okay, as well, but it's all explained on the PowerPoint to follow through. So what have you got to do this week? Don't forget, you've got My Maths Monday to Wednesday. Submit that by Wednesday, please. You've got your maths sheet on eSchools, which is adding and subtracting fractions, so that will become available Wednesday. You've got SPAG on eSchools again, Monday, that's due in Friday. Reading, which I've just explained to you, writing a topic, just explained to you. Your Maths Week 27 sheet was originally due in today, but we've extended it to be due in on Friday. So if you've already submitted it, then that's fine. You can have a few days of not having to do it. If you haven't submitted it, you've got till Friday to get it in, please. TT Rockstars, there's a 2-class battle for 2 weeks, so get going on that. We'll see who wins. And there is also Doodle Maths work as well. Just to point out, Mrs. Ayton and I are now in school all the time. So we will respond to you as quickly as we can. If you're in school because your parents are a key worker or for another reason, then all your work will be printed for you, so you don't have to print it, and you will do all of it in school, hopefully, and just have maybe a little bit to finish at home if you're not in every day. So have a brilliant couple of days. Your next video will be on Wednesday, and we will hopefully see you soon.